Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today's topic: my pain went up for no reason. And we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to sit out here and enjoy the bird song. I don't know what kind that is. It's kind of loud. Pretty close too. So, let's talk about this. Have you had the circumstance where pain went up for no reason? I don't get it, Dan. What the heck happened? Right? And that invariably leads to what people in the community refer to as a flare. Right? So, for no reason. No reason at all. And I always believe there's a reason, but it's not always apparent. It's not available to our conscious thinking mind. We can't really pinpoint it. We don't really know. So, if your first gut reaction is there's no reason for the increase in symptoms, stop trying to figure it out. Because the more you try to figure it out, the more frustrated you're going to get because you can't figure it out. So how can you stop it if you can't figure it out? And then you get more and more aggravated and intense. And what's all that doing? It's creating more perceived danger. So the simple answer is, if pain goes up, or if pain goes up a lot, all of a sudden, it's because your brain subconsciously is perceiving some type of danger. Might be a trip, might be an activity you just did yesterday. You might be feeling a little bit of an increase, and if you panic, it can go really higher. It can be any number of things that the brain is perceiving as dangerous. So while we're all problem solvers and we're all fixers and we all want to know what happened so I don't do that again, I'm going to encourage you to put a pause on that figure it out goal of yours. And just notice if symptoms are going up, the first and best action you can take is a calm response. Call it out for what it is. Oh, my brain's perceiving danger. I don't know what, but my brain's perceiving danger because that's how the system works. Pain just doesn't turn up out of nowhere. It turns up as a result of our subconscious brain perceiving something bad going on. Could it be movement? Could it be engagement with people in our lives who get under our skin? Could it be work stress, family stress, life stress? Oh my goodness, I'm starting a new job and I got to be on my feet all day. Could be any number of things, none of which are your fault. They're just life stuff. But if symptoms go up, quote unquote, for no reason, the reason is always the brain perceiving danger, in my opinion, right? And so instead of spending time getting aggravated and frustrated that you can't figure out exactly what caused it to go up, just jump immediately, immediately to safety, immediately to, I know what that is. I'm not going to be concerned by it. Because here's the deal. Let me ask you a question. Comment below if this happens to you. Your pain starts to go up a little bit. And your first response is, uh-oh. Oh no. And then we become fearful and we try to start figuring out, what did I do? How do I stop it? How do I turn this off? Oh, let me go run and do some meditation, or let me do some breath work, or let me do some journaling, or let me do some feel my emotions, or let me do some calm reassurance because I need to fix this and stop it from going up. And we can become very frantic in our efforts to respond quickly, immediately, and perfectly to symptoms going up. So guess what? All that does is scream to the brain, I'm in trouble, we gotta stop this. And in many cases, I am not placing any blame on anybody because I did it over and over and over and over again for 13 years, right? Not 30, 13 years. But in many cases, when symptoms go up and we panic, that's when they go really up, and that's when it stays a long time. You know, a calm response, calling it out for what it is and being unconcerned and just kind of going with the flow, let the wave crash and let it roll past you, is a way better response than immediately going into fixing mode and panic and fear and frustration and gotta figure it out so that I never do that again. And I know it's a natural response. It's like, oh, pain's going up. What do I do? Ah! But unfortunately, it's our response to symptoms going up that can either have them peak, settle, and then start coming back down, or if you allow the symptoms going up, or perhaps an old symptom that scares you came back and you panic, next thing you know, you're weeks in sending Dan a message going, Dan, I don't know what's going on. What's going on is you're fueling with gasoline that fire and wondering why it won't go out. In every case, whether symptoms are there regular, your normal routine, whether they're spiking, whether an old symptom comes back, whether a new symptom shows up, your best course of action is always, isn't that fascinating? The brain is perceiving danger and it's creating this orchestra of symptoms. And sometimes it can sound like a full symphony orchestra. Other times it sounds like a solo player, just playing one instrument. But in any event, it's, at least to me, it's never a mystery where symptoms are coming from. They're always coming from the brain, and they're always coming from the brain perceiving danger. Now, I'm sure somebody's going to ask me the question, but Dan, if it's a new symptom, how do I know I'm not really in trouble? Well, is freaking out going to help you determine that? Absolutely not. So in any event, yeah, it's a little scary, but do your best to hold it together and say, well, let me respond calmly and see how it goes. Because inevitably, I've heard countless stories of people going, when I looked at a new symptom and I said, I'm not concerned, it usually went away pretty quickly, minutes or hours. Every time I freak out, that new symptom sticks around. Perceived danger is the challenge. The response to that is, I'm okay, and I'm not in trouble. Because I know what it is. I know it's just a scared, misinformed brain sounding a false alarm. And it's my job to respond to a false alarm by not panicking. Because if I do panic, you think that alarm's going off anytime soon? Nope. Do you think it's going to get quieter? Nope. It's going to get louder. And it's going to stay on longer. And the longer you run around the hallways of the school screaming, fire, fire, we're in trouble, panic, but the doors are locked, I can't get out, that siren's going to keep blaring and keep on scaring you. So the best thing to do is recognize, I've had TMS before, I know what this is, it's easy to see. Even if I can't figure it out, the best approach is always, I know what this is and I'm not concerned. Calm response always wins over panic. And look, sometimes, if something seems significant, life-threatening, breathing, heart, stroke-type symptoms, massive infection, swelling, pus type of stuff, yeah, get to the doctor. Those things are really important. If you're not certain, get to the doctor, have them rule out, and say, Doc, I do have some pains, but I'm really just looking to rule out anything life-threatening. Can you do that for me? I'm not looking to dig in deep into every possible symptom or sensation I've ever had. I just want to rule out the big stuff. Can you give me a clean bill of health? It's a great way to go to the doctor, because at that point, you're not inviting them to open up this can of worms called imaging studies and blood tests and nutritional panels and heavy metals panels and hormonal panels and everything else, and then trying to fix you under a microscope. Basically, hey doc, Can you rule out the life-threatening stuff? And once we do that, I'm going to approach this from a mind-body stress induced pain symptom disorder approach. Does that make sense, folks? Does it make sense that pain doesn't just come out of nowhere? Symptoms don't just go crazy high out of nowhere? And look, maybe it happens so fast that you weren't aware of it. Right? Sometimes symptoms can come back with a punch. That happened with me. I had a lot of acute onsets of TMS, perceived danger pain, bending over. They always felt like an injury, and of course I panicked, and oh no, here we go again. It's going to be 6 weeks before this settles down. Don't predict the future. Don't give yourself your own prognosis or diagnosis. Whatever you do, don't call it an injury if you truly didn't get your body impacted by something, because I don't believe the body is that frail and easily broken that doing things like stretching or walking or gentle exercise is going to truly injure us. An acute onset of pain feels an awful lot like an injury, but it is very often an acute onset of perceived danger, and it can feel a lot like that injury. So the key thing here is, if symptoms go up a lot and they hit hard, remain calm. If symptoms start increasing, don't panic, remain calm. You're more likely to keep them from escalating really big by remaining calm and reassuring yourself, I got this, I'm good. After a while, this becomes easier with practice. Is it easy? Nope. Especially new symptoms or old ones that kind of scared us in the past. Drop those diagnoses. I did a video a few days ago. Does your diagnosis matter? I don't think it does. You rule out the life-threatening. You rule in mind-body perceived danger pain. And then you discard the rest of the labels you've been given. And if somebody gave you a prognosis of not healing and you'll be in pain forever, no longer see that medical expert. Or if a friend of yours is trying to tell you, you're not going to get well, it's going to be around forever, shh, I don't want to ever, ever, ever hear that again. If you want my friendship, do not ever say that to me again. That's horrible. And you can say the same thing to a doctor. If a doctor says, oh, there's no cure, you'll be in pain forever, that's when you go, hey, do you want me to be a patient? Oh, of course. Well, then why would you possibly ever give me a prognosis of a lifetime of pain? Shh, I don't want to hear that crap. I want to work with people who believe I can get better. If that's not you, gotta go, doctor. See ya. Take ownership of your own mental state, of your own understanding of what's going on, and of your own solution. I can't do this for you. The doctor certainly can't. Your friends, your family can't. But you can. You can absolutely resolve perceived danger, pain, or symptoms. And let me put that on there, or symptoms. There's many, 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 many symptoms that are created by a brain perceiving danger. And even things like anxiety, depression, OCD, PTSD, these are all the result of a brain perceiving danger. So I'm going to wrap this one up. Hope everybody's doing really well. Almost out of the woods with this cold. The voice is still a little bit not right, but definitely getting there, feeling a lot better. So hope everybody's well. I love you. Thank you for watching, and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you don't yet, and share it to somebody who might need these words of encouragement. So, love you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.